Bienvenidos to Pica Poco Kitchen. Today, it's chilly out, so we're making Sopa Tarasca. Vámonos. It's finally getting chilly out, so it's time for you to dust your pots and start making soup. Here, people in the US really love their tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich, and it is delicious. So that got me thinking, which soup from Mexico gives you the same cozy, warm feeling that it's autumn, almost winter kind of vibe? And that led me to Sopa Tarasca. Sopa Tarasca is a newish dish born in 1966 by the family Oseguera Iturbide, who had an inn in Pátzcuaro, Michoacán, and they developed this recipe to feed the truckers and bus drivers that would come and stay there. This is a very nourishing dish that combines the warmth of beans with the brightness of tomato and the smokiness of dry pepper. Sopa Tarasca, the name comes from the indigenous people that live in Michoacán who actually call themselves Purepecha. They live in the northern west side of the state of Michoacán, and they cover 22 municipalities. This is a very rich community, very rich culture and tradition. So if you have a chance, check them out. And if you ever go to Michoacán, don't doubt on visiting and getting yourself immersed in this tight-knit community that is still thriving to today. This soup is really simple to make, and you're not gonna regret it. Let's get to it. First things first, let's start with our beans, the soul of this dish. I have 1 cup of pinto beans. Pinto are my personal favorite. One of my dogs' names is Pinto. But you can use mayocoba, you can use black beans, whichever beans that you normally have at home. I soaked mine overnight. It is important to do that because that helps fasten the cooking process, and it also helps digestion, which means that you won't be airy after eating them. So that's why they look bigger and rehydrated and more than a cup. So I have 1 cup here, and I'm gonna cook them in my pressure cook. To that, I'm going to add 2 garlic cloves, 1/4 of an onion, and very importantly, epazote. If you are lucky enough to have it fresh, use it fresh. I unfortunately haven't got myself around getting some seeds. I would like to grow some. So I have dry, which honestly it works just fine. So maybe you can get yourself some too. And water. So beans in. Oh, I need to mention that after soaking them, I did rinse them a couple of times. Garlic in, onion, my water. Add enough water to cover them, at least an inch. So in this case, I think I'm gonna go full 4 cups. Much better. Epazote, I like to use an imaginary teaspoon. And salt and pepper. In there go 22 minutes, natural pressure release for around other 20 minutes. So total of 42 minutes 45. And because I'm in lazy mode, I didn't feel roasting my veggies on the stove and standing them forever. So I just lined my baking sheet with foil because that way it's easier to clean, and laid there 2 big Roma tomatoes, half an onion, 2 garlic cloves. I drizzle them with oil and season with salt and pepper. I left the skins on both the garlic and the onion. That way, if it gets burned, you just peel it off and it helps protect and get your garlic and onion softer. On this side, I have my ancho pepper hydrating with warm water. Remember that the ancho pepper is the dry version of poblano, so it's gonna be sweet and smoky. I haven't found which one is the one that rules them all for this recipe. Coming into dry peppers, I saw some recipes that call for pasilla. So if you are looking for a little bit of spicy and more earthiness, then go for pasilla. If you want not spicy but the flavor, then go for guajillo. Or like me, a sweeter smoky, go for ancho. So it's just one that I cleaned, deveined, and deseeded, and it's been resting in warm water while this was cooking. I cooked my veggies in the oven 380 for 20 minutes. You can let them roast more if that's what you want, but for me, this is good enough. Let's move on. I did drain my beans, but I didn't discard the liquid. I'm gonna use it later, but I like to do it this way so I have control on the amount of water that I use in the overall result. I also forgot to tell you that if you are in an extra lazy mood and you really don't feel like doing your own beans, you can absolutely use canned beans. Just make sure to use the ones that you already know and like, and have in mind that you very likely are going to have to add extra liquids and extra seasoning as well. So now we just have to blend all of our ingredients together until silky smooth. Some people like to add some water from the pepper. I just rather stick with just the 2 cups of my bean water and 2 cups of chicken stock. If you want to make this vegetarian, you can use just plain water, well seasoned, or veggie stock. And besides the salt, pepper, and epazote, I also like to add 1 teaspoon of marjoram to my soup. I feel like it goes really well with this one. Now, in some oil, I'm going to bring my soup to a boil. This will help thicken it. And also, it's important to know that as it cools down, your soup will be thickening. So next time you reheat it, you might need to add a little bit of chicken broth or water. And now, my favorite part about the soup, or what I think it makes it even more interesting, is the way it is traditionally served. It normally goes with some tortilla crisps, pepper slices, avocado, cheese, and cream, which gives it not just a nice look but a great texture. So I have here 2 old tortillas from 2 days ago that I had in my fridge, and I saved a little piece of ancho pepper that I'm going to slice with the scissors because that's the easiest way to get it. Just remember to remove all the seeds and the veins. And we're going to fry both of them. So I'm gonna start with some hot neutral oil in my pan, and I'm going to add my tortillas. Keep them moving because you don't want them to burn, you just want them to get golden and crispy. If you want, you can add some salt to them, but I like to keep them neutral. And once they're ready, take them out and let them sit in a plate with a paper towel. Now it is important to turn off the heat. We're going to be frying the pepper slices, but it is very easy to burn them, and if they burn, they take a bitter flavor. So, with the residual heat of the oil, we're going to place the peppers there. Keep them moving, and as soon as they get soft, and your oil changes color, they're ready. So take them out and we're ready to serve. And this is how the traditional serving looks like. You have your soup, add as little or as many tortilla chips as you want, a few of your pepper crisps, some slices of avocado. I'm using queso fresco and some crema mexicana. Remember, I normally go for crema mexicana instead of sour cream, but if that's what you have, that's all right. And with a little toothpick, I just run through the dots and make little beautiful hearts. And there you go. You are ready to share it with your friends. And here you go. Now you're ready to get your cozy blankie, watch a movie, look outside and look at the trees. I don't know. However, you get cozy. And of course, I enjoy mine with a quesadilla that you can dip in. Mm. And this is just exactly what you need when you don't really want to cook something like complicated. It is really easy to put together. Mm. And it gives you all the right fillings. And let me know, what is the food that gets you into that cozy place? Is it a soup? Is it a sandwich? Is it something sweet? I'm curious. But for now, there you have it. I hope you enjoy it. Please share it with your friends, just like this video. Like, subscribe, and be notified. And for more, follow me on the socials. Adios, amigues.